Within the near destiny, there's a biotech organization in Germany called Aeon, which offers a medical method which could take away time from one's existence and transfer it to any other man or woman's frame. So long as they're alike-minded in shape. Way to this era, humans in dire need of money can sell as many years in their lives as they want, which makes their bodies age quickly. In comparison, the person that buys the time receives their younger seems restored. Because of this, wealthy humans are pretty an awful lot immortal, typically simplest terrible people that are determined to enhance their dwelling situations agree to promote their time, despite the fact that Aeon constantly promotes it as a desire and a donation. In this destiny, there's an excessive quantity of migrants and asylum seekers, and this is the best way they need to earn a living. The business enterprise makes positive to honor students, artists, and celebrities with time. And Nobel winners have currently been introduced to the list. Aeon's best donation supervisor is Max, who goes around convincing humans to sell their age. Today he's speaking to the son of a migrant family, telling the teen that he would significantly advantage from promoting 15 years of his life. To convince him, Max explains how he offered 5 years of his existence if you want to manage to pay for a college schooling. He also points out that the chances of his circle of relatives finally getting the criminal paperwork to stay in peace is nearly zero, but this money should help them open an enterprise. All this manipulation gets Max the deal. Whilst he returns to the company building, Max puts on a raincoat to deal with the protesters outside, who throw things at any employee that passes by using. Many humans are against Aeon's generation because his growing social and monetary disparity in society. Once inside, Max attends a unique ceremony at some point of which he receives an award for being the first-class agent of the year. Then the corporation's founder Sophie Thyssen gives a massive speech about the significance of their work. Meanwhile, in one of Aeon's clinics, patients are having a calm day when abruptly a man dressed as a worker pulls out a gun and shoots a bunch of humans inside the room before graffiting the wall with an A symbol and then running off. He's from the Atom Organization, which is supposed to be an anti-Aeon enterprise. They use terrorist sports to stop the corporation and kill people inside the call of saving society. Later, Sophie together with her guards, Kaya and Nowak, are watching a video sent by means of Atom's leader Lilith, who promises more chaos is coming. Max returns home and prepares a unique dinner to rejoice his award with his wife Elena. They haven't finished purchasing the apartment but, however, their dream is to have youngsters, so before ingesting they grow to be getting frisky for a while. The following day, the couple goes to visit Elena's dad and mom. Her dad jokes about perhaps buying some extra years for himself, but he's very genuinely being passive competitive and displaying disdain for Optimum's process, which he considers unethical. Elena interrupts earlier than a controversy escalates, but in the course of the ride home, Max needs she could shield him instead of being annoyingly neutral. When the couple makes it again to their building, they're taken aback to discover that their condo is on Hearth. Now not best, they lost all their belongings. They lost all their cash too because it turned into a domestic. Once they go to see the insurance organization, they find out they gained cover this incident due to the fact reviews imply a candle started out the fireplace. That's seen as negligence. Elena swears she continually puts out all candles earlier than leaving the area, but that's the professional record and they can do nothing about it. To make topics worse, Max learns that to get the loan from the bank, Elena provided 40 years of her lifestyles as collateral, which she by no means instructed him. Max attempts to offer his very own years as a substitute, however he's turned down because there aren't well-suited recipients for him. This confuses Max due to the fact he donated in the past. But seemingly the recipient recently died. After they depart the insurance company, the Cops arrest Elena to prevent her from fleeing the S.of.A. Max swears he'll get the money to pay the bank in some other manner and goes to look Sophie to provide an explanation for his state of affairs, getting Sophie to vow she'll see what she will be able to do. In a while, Sophie has a meeting with the organization's shareholders, who are uninterested in wasting sources on checking for like-minded DNA as it method a few human beings may additionally in no way get the danger to buy some more years and genetic dispositions are very rare anyway. They call Sophie too biased. A few days later, Max's lawyer informs him there was no information from Sophie and that she's ignoring their calls and not using a different desire. Max is going to the health facility and attempts to go to Elena, however, they inform him he has to wait till the system is over. Dropping his mind, Max runs into the alternative rooms to attempt to reach his spouse, but he's tackled down by Kaya and her group. Meanwhile, Elena's organized for the process. Hearing an attorney study the settlement makes her in the end snap, and he or she starts off evolved suffering in opposition to the medical doctors. However, she's given an injection that places her to sleep, and then she's related to a machine that transfers 30-8 years to someone in every other room whose face is hidden. Afterward, Max takes Elena domestic, however, she doesn't say a word. Throughout the following days, Elena's frame starts to age quickly until she seems like an elderly lady, and he or she can slightly stand searching at herself in the reflect. Max and Elena's relationship becomes very bitter and awkward, and even though Max attempts to consolation and help Elena, she becomes very distant. One morning, Max is called to the agency and he learns that he has been given a promoting. That includes a revenue upward thrust, however, this is vain now. Livid, Max runs to attempt to speak to Sophie. However, Kaya stops him from getting too near. Sophie ignores him and receives in her car, even though Max notices she's starting to look more youthful. Later at home, Max is affectionate to Elena, swearing he still loves her. However, Elena thinks it's pity and tells him to go away her by myself. After Max leaves, Elena starts feeling an extraordinary ache in her stomach and rushes to the bathtub, where she starts bleeding. Meanwhile, Max goes for a walk and to have a beer at the park, wherein he's approached by a woman promoting unlawful uppers. Max quickly tells her off. Some hours later, Elena is within the clinic for her ache. Max is retaining her enterprise and is shocked to learn that before the matter, Elena had been pregnant, and today's bleeding had been a miscarriage due to the fact this vintage body can't have toddlers. Uninterested in this awkward lifestyles they've having, Elena makes Max take her to her figure's residence, in which she'll live to any extent further. Heartbroken, Max promises to discover a manner to reverse the procedure. However, Elena's father tells him off, reminding him this is the gadget he helped to create. Determined for a solution, Max reveals the woman within the park and approaches her to demand records, understanding that the female were given her manner from somewhere unlawful, because Aeon would in no way make children. The female offers him a special touch that Max later calls, and he learns of an underground organization that has been appearing age transplant surgeries within the neighboring United States of Lithuania. He's informed to pick up a burner phone and faux passports in a shady neighborhood and that he needs to get preserve of the recipient who has been given Elena's time. Later on, Max hides in a lodge and makes plans to kidnap Sophie due to the fact he's certain her getting more youthful and refusing to assist him wasn't a coincidence. For the next few days, he follows Sophie round till one afternoon, he unearths his chance whilst he sees her alone in a cemetery without a guards in sight. After hiding his face, he processes the now younger-looking Sophie, who starts off evolved yelling for supporting and jogging. Max catches up fast and tases her until she falls unconscious. Then he paints an A on a grave to make it appear like the Adam Institution did this. Later on, Max goes to choose Elena up at her place of work, asking her to trust him. Together, They visit the abandoned building wherein he's maintaining an illegal van and Sophie all tied up. However, Elena thinks that is loopy and a controversy ensues. Max convinces her to come along whilst he mentions that is the most effective risk to rebuild their lives and have a own family. On the cemetery, Kaya and Nowak look into the scenario and Nowak uses the footage from protection cameras to hint the vehicle Max used. The entirety became bought with a faux account, however Nowak follows all the purchases till he lines the primary one to Max's real account, so now they'll be looking for him. Nowak wonders if they have to name the police officers, but Kaya refuses. By means of the time they make it to the abandoned constructing. The couple is already long gone. Even as Elena and Max make their way to the harbor, Kaya and Nowak put together a new operation to seize them, this time with the help of the police. Nowak explains how the couple met. Max had been